Welcome to my LGBT lesbian channel. The series Checkmate, Stripper and Dance for Me are voiced for you in full history. Thank you for your comments, reactions and subscription to my channel. Have a nice day everyone. We heard light knocks on the door, and through the open shutters we could see the image of Allison beside Normani. I motioned for both women to come in. I see that you two already know each other, I said as soon as the two entered. Oh, yes, Normani and I got along super well, Allie said as she approached. We sure did. You need to see these two talking about systems and encodings. I feel lost, Vero said, rolling her eyes. With time you'll get used to it, Agent Iglesias, Normani said with a smile. I hope, otherwise I'll go crazy. Tell me, any news? Allison casted a look at Normani, who then began to speak. We talked to the FBI security team, and they authorized us to use their IP identification program in Collins Enterprise. Really? FBI agents are always too full of themselves and selfish to allow something like that. They're sensational, Lauren, Vero exclaimed from her seat. Not all, some take advantage of the fame in there. Let's not go there, Allie cut. The important thing is that thanks to Normani we got it. Is that so, Agent Corday? Yes, ma'am, I have contacts in the FBI, and with their help I got authorization. That's great, I said excitedly. Yes, but the program has to be used in the company in commercial time. What do you mean, we won't be able to have it here? I asked, confused. Allie shook her head. What are we going to do then? Vero asked. That's up to Lauren now, Allie answered. I walked away from the girls for a few instants, as they stared at me waiting for an answer. My head was bubbling with frantic thoughts in search of a way out of that situation. The program could only be used in CE's base, which means that one of us would have to be there gathering and watching the financial transactions. It's pretty simple, girls. Spill it. We will infiltrate Agent Corday in Collins Enterprise. Lauren, Allie began to speak. We are not the FBI. Allison, we are the big cases team. We have authority to do so, unless Normani refuses. All the eyes in the room turned to the woman, who remained serious, probably analyzing the idea. So, are you in? I asked Agent Corday. I'm in. I opened a broad smile. Perfect. We have to put Normani's registration in the database of Collins Hour. Wouldn't it be better to ask someone? Allie asked. Yes, Christopher, Vero completed. No, I don't want him to know, I interrupted. But Lauren, he's the owner. Whatever, I don't trust him. Christopher didn't seem as harmless as people painted him. Something in me said that I shouldn't trust him. He carried with him some secret that sooner or later I would find out. Okay, then what will we do? Allie and Normani can enter the database of CE. We have access to the program thanks to the information center. Human Resources, HR, doesn't need passwords. We'll only put a curriculum and delete others. I said calmly. Great idea. In a few hours they should call to schedule a date. Yes, it's still early. Collins Enterprise has an intense employee circulation. And with the theft, I heard John speak that they are hiring new employees for the financial and billing sector. We'll make you an awesome curriculum, Normani. Vero spoke excitedly. Allison, delete the best curriculums. I want Normani to be the first on the list. Leave it to me, Agent Yaregui. Allison spoke before leaving along with Normani. Vero, I want you to try to find out Heider Martinez's address. We need more information. That man is a strong suspect. I'll get that for you. But I was thinking about something in these last few hours, the woman said, accommodating herself better on the armchair. If it's not about women, you can speak. She let out an amused laugh, and then shook her head. Well, technically it is. But not for me, but for you. Iglesias, I don't want to involve myself with anyone right now. Only with my job. I turned my back to her, who continued to speak. Exactly for that. Look, who else can have more information about what happened between Christopher and Hyder? I turned towards the woman, who stared at me with a smug countenance. Camilla. Yes, you're beautiful and powerful, Camilla. I shook my head as I poured myself a cup of hot coffee. Forget it. I will not take information from her. It's too dangerous. For you or for her? For both parties. I don't want to screw the first important case of our life by sleeping with the victim's wife. You'll only screw up if you don't know how to handle it. I lowered my head, letting those ideas spread. I can try another person, I said, trying to convince her. Who can know so much about Christopher besides his wife? Claricel. I sat on my chair facing Barrow. The woman frowned, probably trying to remember someone named Clarice. God, Christopher's secretary. She doesn't strike me as that smart. Nicel. A great idea, and she's hot. I let out a laugh, to then taste the bitter coffee. Exactly. One night with her, a few drinks, and she tells me what she knows. And you still get sex. I deserve a present after my hard work. Have I already told you that you suck, Lauren? What, with the wife of the owner of the company I can, but with the secretary I can't? The wife of the owner is clearly naughty, and you already slept with her once, so. Don't remind me of that, please. Vero had an amused expression on her face. The woman stretched her arm to grab the cup of coffee from my hand. Weak meat to Mrs. Collins, right? You would understand if you had had sex with her, I murmured with my head low. I can do that to understand you better. Vero got up from the armchair, removing her badge from around her neck. Don't even think about that. I let out the words faster than I should. Iglesias shook her head, holding in a laugh. Always possessive. It's part of me. I grabbed the cup of coffee, drinking the dark liquid to the last drop. When I felt my phone vibrate in the pocket of my jeans, I brought my hand to the device, noticing that it was just a text message. Upon unlocking the screen of my phone, her name was highlighted on the screen. Camilla Cabello. I'm going to a business dinner with my husband. I need you in my house at 6 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. XX, Carla Estrabao. I locked my phone screen, letting a heavy sigh escape through my lips. Until when would that work out? Camilla Cabello's point of view. I passed for the last time the soft colored lipstick on my lips, to then slide them on each other. It was almost 6 p.m., and soon Lauren would arrive to take me safely to Collins Enterprise. I could very well ask Carlos to take me to the company with one of Christopher's security guards, but I wanted Lauren to get used to my presence. I got up from the bench in front of the small mirror to walk towards my walk-in closet. In a row of meters, I chose a pair of beige high heels to complete. After putting them on, I walked to the huge mirror, checking my clothes one last time. Today I was wearing a social blouse of light fabric, accompanied by a pair of pants of delicate fabric, with a plaid pattern in white and light blue, almost in the same tone of the blouse. My hair was wavy, unlike the other days where it remained straight. Do I look well, Eliza? I asked the woman who stared at me with a serene smile. Yes, ma'am, you look beautiful. I combed my fingers through my hair, putting it to one side. Agent Yaregui arrived. Great, you are dismissed. Christopher and I are going out for dinner. All right, I'll organize everything before I leave. I know you will. When I left through the front door, I noticed the agent leaning against the staircase's handrail. She seemed distracted with her phone, in which she typed something. A smile escaped my lips as soon as I approached her. Lauren was wearing white jeans, with some cuts on the front. On the upper half, a simple black t-shirt, being covered by a blue denim shirt, the sleeves were perfectly rolled up to her forearm. On her feet, black closed heels. She looked beautiful, as always, perfectly beautiful. I thought you would be late, I spoke, drawing her attention. Lauren looked up and stared at me with a serious expression. I'm never late. Great, I like punctuality, I said, throwing the car keys towards her. Lauren quickly caught it. We'll take my car, I said, walking towards the black Ferrari parked ahead. Lauren analyzed the car, maybe somewhat surprised with my choice of car. What happened? I asked, sitting in the passenger seat. I thought this car was Christopher's. You don't look like you like this style of cars. Lauren opened the car door and sat beside me. Carlos had left the hood of the car closed, like I had ordered. You think just because I'm the wife of a rich man, I have to drive in those red cars full of frills? Lauren smiled and shrugged. Drive, Agent Yaregui. With skill, Lauren drove out of the mansion, going towards CE. The drive was totally silent. I wouldn't tease her now. I knew exactly what to do, and the right time to do it. Playing with Lauren Yaregui wasn't only a dangerous game for her, but for me too. Within minutes we were entering Collins Enterprises parking lot. Mrs. Collins, I heard Lauren's voice. Yes? I wanted to talk about today. Her serious tone made me want to laugh. What about today? I played dumb. Lauren turned to the side, frowning in confusion. What do you mean, what about today? The key. Nothing happened, Lauren. At least I don't remember anything, do you? I let out with a smile. The woman's confused expression was simply priceless. I would play with the agent's psychological in a fun way. No. Great, shall we? She nodded, and then got out of the car. In hurried steps we walked towards the central elevator of Collins. Lauren leaned against the metal wall and stared at me intensely. I took my eyes off the officer. I wouldn't afford to flirt with her a few minutes away to meet Christopher, not now. As soon as the doors opened, I saw my husband in a serious conversation with one of the men that I thought to be from an important project. Good evening, I said politely. My love, so glad you arrived. Meet Mr. Thomas. He's a great investor from Latin America. Mr. This is my wife, Camilla Collins. The old man casted me a look from head to toe with certain intensity. I let out a forced smile when I greeted him. The two kept a limited conversation to professional matters, leaving me totally bored. I sighed heavily under an uncomfortable look from Christopher, who time or another alternated his gaze from me to the man in front of him. I let my attention be taken quickly by the entertaining conversation that Lauren seemed to have with my husband's secretary. You don't waste time, right, Yaregui? Lauren was all smiles to the blonde in front of her, who on her turn melted wholly for the agent. I took care of masking the attention I was giving to that situation. I didn't want Christopher, let alone Lauren, to know that weirdly bothered me. I looked at my husband, who was laughing at some not funny joke coming from the suited man in front of us. "Hey, careful, Clarice," I heard Lauren's voice murmuring in the background. The blonde smiled widely, receiving help from Lauren, who held on her arm. "Is everything all right?" Collins asked as he stared at the two women. "Yes, sir. I just ended up stumbling over these wires. But Agent Yaregui helped me," Clarice said with a goofy smile. I casted a look at Lauren, who was staring at the woman beside her. "Less bad. Be careful, miss." "Chris is right," I said as I approached the blonde, stopping in front of her. "Be very careful, Clarice." "I will, Mrs. Collins," the woman said with a smile towards me. "You better. You don't want to be knocked down by something in front of you, right?" Lauren frowned at me. "No, Mom." "Great, much better this way, dear." Oh. If you like that I voiced the continuation of the series Stripper and want me to continue, please like and write a comment on the video. This will be an incentive to continue working on translation and dubbing.